Welcome to part 2. This is part 2. So that means if you haven't watched part 1, you might want to watch part 1. In part 1, what we did is we created scriptable objects for all of our cards. And you'll see why this is so useful for us because these scriptable objects hold all our card data. So this has the card name, the sprites for it, the suit it is, the card values. This would be super useful if you were doing like a trading card game like Pokemon or Star Trek the collectible card game. No one ever plays that. Versus system style stuff to where you might need to have like a damage, defense, HP type stuff on the values and maybe like special attributes you would want on there as well. And what's nice too about scriptable objects is if I wanted to go to my scriptable object here and I wanted to edit this, and we just went public. Again, you could have an enum list, which you would probably want to do if you wanted to keep everything straightforward, but I'm too lazy to create an enum right now. So I'm going to just do public string, and we'll call this attributes. Okay, and if I hit save, hopefully I'm not going to be super depressed because I've never done this before. Hopefully I'm not going to be super depressed and see all my scriptable objects get destroyed. So let's go to cards, let's go to clubs, and now you can see my cards are intact, but now I have an attributes field. So this could be really super handy for if down the road, like you add an expansion pack to your card game. You don't have to go into each of your cards manually and just completely change all your logic. Instead, you use these scriptable objects, and you can just add new fields to the main scriptable object script, and then your old decks won't have those attributes, which would be like in real life if they were printed cards. But the scriptable objects will all still be the same. All right, so I'm gonna go back in there though, and I'm gonna delete this because I'm not using that, and save. And here we go. Okay, am I playing? Yes, okay, so what is it we need to do here? You can see I was searching the array lists. I need a deck. So I have a bunch of cards, and I have them all in an array inside this deck FSM. Okay, so this state does nothing. I'm just using this FSM to kind of hold my cards. This is kind of useful sometimes to just have FSMs just holding things because they kind of get it out of the way of, it just makes things cleaner. Okay, I'm all for clean. So it's easier to find stuff down the road. So we have a deck. So I think we're good there, right? I need a deck. I have a deck. Mark as resolved. Yay! Okay, so now let's look at shuffling the deck. Okay, so that should be simple enough, right? We need, we're gonna make this deck, it already is a button. Cool beans. Planned ahead there. Okay, and let's have a new FSM. And let's call this Shuffle the Deck. Okay. And so now I'm just going to do on button click. And I'm going to specify a game object. And it might be useful to have my deck as a variable, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I'm just going to drag and drop the deck here. Okay, so when it's clicked, I'm just going to say click. It's going to be my event. Hold down the control key, drag off to create a new state, and we'll just call this one, I love doing this, F2, copy, paste. We just got one state in there. Put the name of the, or in one action, put the name of the action in the state, you know exactly what's going on. All right, so once we click, you probably already know what we're going to do is we need to shuffle the deck. So let's double click the actions and let's go array shuffle. Hey, look, it's a thing. Array shuffle. Hit enter. And what is the array that we want to shuffle? We don't know. So we are going to, hold on just a second. So I paused to think. So we're going to array get. No, we are going to array, is it copy? No, dagnabbit, we're just going to go scroll down to arrays. For each get next, get random, insert length, remove all, resize, reverse, set, shuffle, sort. array transfer value. Did I do this with lists before? Because I swear we should be able to reference an array. You know what'll be easier anyways? Is if we make our array from the deck, if we make this a global. Can we make you a global? Click off of that. Yeah, so if we right click on you and move to global variables, am I sure? Yes. We don't even need this deck FSM anymore. If we go up to Playmaker, editor windows, global variables, you can see cards in deck, and they're all there. All right, I'm glad that worked because I don't know if you've ever tried before just creating, let me try that. Let me do, we'll just test game object. This is unrelated to this tutorial, but it's something that's always bothered me recently. So there's my test game object. Why did I think I couldn't do that? Yeah, you can't create global variables this way. I guess you can add global game objects from your assets folder, but you can't grab scene objects and just drag and drop them into the globals. And I don't get it. I don't know why that's the case. So if you want one of your scene objects as a global variable, you basically have to put an FSM on that scene object and then just tell it at start to make a global variable of itself. But that's pretty nice that the array still worked, that I was just able to move it to arrays once I built it. So now we're just going to array shuffle our cards in deck. And start index none, shuffling range none, because it's just going to do it all. And let's see, we're just going to do F2 copy, array shuffle, and let's hit play. And let's see if this logic works. Going to sip the coffee. All right. So it's waiting for me to click the button. So this deck should be a button. I'm going to click. Boom. Nada. What? I can see myself clicking it. Why? What? Why is that not working? You're a canvas. It's got a graphic raycaster. There's no reason this shouldn't be working. I mean, we can see it's clicking. What? What is going on? You can see the deck. It's there. Why isn't the clicking happening? There's nothing else using this. This is insane. Give me a minute. We're gonna unpause and I'm gonna goof around with it. All right, so I'm not sure if this is my issue. I completely forgot that I had already set up my network connection. And so what's happening is I was network instantiating the deck, but that's not what I'm doing anymore. So I'm just gonna completely deactivate this. I don't know what was happening. And I'm gonna go back to my deck, and I was getting too far ahead of myself there. So let's remove this photon stuff, and let's see if that fixes the issue. Maybe it wasn't letting me interact with it because it was confused because it was supposed to be a networked object. That's the only thing I think of. Click, boom! Look at that. I know I paused it, but it only took me like a minute to figure that out. Okay, so as you can see, our array has been shuffled. If I click variables, I can't click on that. I'll have to go up to Playmaker, editor windows, global variables. I cannot see when playing. That's lame. Enable tool windows when playing. There we go. Cards in deck, as you can see, all crazy and shuffled. That's sweet. That's what we want to do. All right, so we've learned how to shuffle our deck. We are so smart. So we come over here and let's shuffle the deck and let's mark it as closed. All right, so now we need to deal the deck. All right, where are we going to be dealing this to? So now, what should we do? Do we keep doing this without using multiplayer? Or do we start the multiplayer logic right now? Let's do it without multiplayer and then we'll convert it. I kind of hate doing that, but sometimes it's easier to figure out the logic that way. We might have to redo some stuff, but we're going to do it without multiplayer first. So we need to deal some... We need to deal. So let's create a new FSM and let's deal it. So clicking on the deck shuffles. That's probably not what we want to do right now. Let's just click on deck. What is that card in the center? I don't know why that is there. Let's delete you. We should probably have a shuffle button and then a deal button. So that would make more sense. So let's go 2D object. No, let's go UI. Let's go button text mesh pro, and we're gonna call this the shuffle button. And let's name you. Let's put a shuffle text there. And we're going to. What are we gonna do with you? We are going to come over here. We're gonna put you. I'm holding down Alt and Shift, locking you in the bottom right corner. We're gonna position you up like this, and then we are going to adjust your width. Very nice. And we'll get you kind of over the deck there. All right, we'll do that. And the text, let's put auto size in that bad boy. Minimum could be 0.01, maximum, sure, whatever. But I want to put a little bit of padding on this. So left padding, let's do 3. Right 3. You know what? I like 3 all the way around. Not bad. I lied. I want 5. Okay, cool. Good shuffle button. So now we go back to our logic. And Playmaker, shuffle the deck. And we're going to change our button to the shuffle button. Yay! And so then after we shuffle, let's reuse this button. Let's let's name it. This will be fun. Set name. And it's fun if you've never renamed your hierarchy at runtime, do it. It's such a fun way to stay organized, especially with multiplayer. And so we're gonna rename this deal button. And then let's also drag this text down here. Text Mesh Pro UGUI, Text Mesh Pro UGUI Basic, Text Mesh Pro UGUI Text. Set the text, yes. And we're gonna call you deal. All right, so this will be fun. Watch. So if we hit play, sip the coffee. All right, there's my shuffle button. Let's click the shuffle button, and now it's the deal button. It's deal and it's deal button. Isn't that a nice way to stay organized? Less game objects in the hierarchy, and we're keeping track of everything just fine. All right, so now we need to take this button click action, and we're gonna paste it on over here. And maybe we should change this event name from click to shuffle. And now we'll come over here, and instead of shuffle, we're gonna call you deal. Boink. Control click. All right, so how's the dealing gonna happen? It's gonna be interesting. So what we're gonna do when we deal is we now need. Oh, should I go ahead and jump to the multiplayer part of this? I feel like I'm gonna kick myself if I don't. I'm gonna pause just so I can think. Oh, shoot. All right, so we're just gonna have to try and see what happens. So, this deck needs to be we need to take the shuffle the deck logic, and we're going to put it on our actual deck. I'm just going to uncheck that for now. Go to the deck. Paste component is new. But now we're going to have some problems here because this deck is going to be instantiated, so it doesn't know what this stuff is. It's not going to know what the shuffle button is. It's using the cards in deck. It can't be a global variable. Oh, and that's going to be so frustrating. It can't be a global variable because as long as the host is doing everything. But then you're going to have the problem of if the host leaves the room and transfers ownership to someone else, they're not going to have necessarily the same values for the order the deck is in. Okay, so I don't think, after pausing and thinking for a while, I don't think we can use the deck in a global variable. So how the heck do we get it back without having to rebuild the whole dang thing? So cards in deck. How can we copy this? Let's try using some. Let's do this. We're gonna take this, and we are going to. Son of a gun. Let's take this. And we're going to leave that there's fine. So let's add an FSM, new FSM. We're going to create a variable. This is going to be an array. And this is going to be cards in, we're just going to call this, I had to rename it, deck of cards. Okay, and then we're going to make this a object array, and it's going to be our card scriptable object. So now what we want to do is, let's just wait just to be safe. I'm going to wait. What are you doing, Philip? I am going to copy the global variable into this deck, and then I'm going to make it a prefab and pray that it all comes with it. So this, I'm correcting mistakes. You might not want to watch this, but it could be useful for you if you have a mistake. So now I'm going to array copy. No, array. I bet there's something in the ecosystem. Playmaker, add-ons, ecosystem. Because I know it's a C# method. I've used it for some actions I've created. Array copy. It's literally like just array.copy or something like that. You serious? There's no array copy? Come on now. Array. Enter. No one's made an array copy. That is insane. I'm going to pause and I'm going to hunt one down. All right, we're just going to use array transfer value. It's going to be a little bit annoying. The array source is going to be the global cards in deck. The array target is going to be deck of cards. Index to transfer 0. We're just going to make this an index variable. Okay. And then transfer options, copy type, copy, paste type as first item. Let's just do insert at, ooh, that's nice. Insert at same index. But we're going to replace the same index. Let's do as first item. Nah, it's got to be, we got to do replace at same index. And when the index is out of range, it'll finish. All right, so boink. All right, and then what we're going to do is we are going to, no, we're going to have to call this out of range. All right, and then boink. And so this is going to be over here, finished. Okay, and then we're going to int add, take our index, add 1, and then add transition finished. I'm not renaming these because this FSM is going to get deleted. So we're going to get all the cards in deck, dump them into this deck of cards, and then we'll be done. All right, let's see what happens. Hopefully we can make a prefab. You just went kaplooey. Object reference not such an instance of an object. Copy, paste, replace, index out of range. Because we probably need to come over here and go to my deck of cards, and we need to make it 52. Let's try again. Because arrays are picky like that. There, you did it. All right, so now there's our deck of cards. They're all there. So now if I go to my project and I grab this deck and I drop it in there, hopefully we We unplay, and we go to deck, and let's drop it into our canvas, and we go to Playmaker, and we go to variables, not shuffle the deck. Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Where's the other FSM? Edit, variables, deck of cards. Well, let's just unpack the prefab. Prefab, unpack completely. Let's delete the old one. Call you deck again. Deck of cards. Boom! Okay, successfully copied. So let's just go up here and let's go do the global variables. And this one is cards and deck. Yes. Okay. So there, we've successfully copied it back over here. Philip, you've made no progress, and we're not 20 minutes into this. Are we 20 minutes into this? Good gravy. All right, we're 20 minutes into this, and this was just fixing my mistake of trying to use a global variable. Now this FSM, I almost deleted it. Oh my goodness, I almost just deleted this. We just need to rename this deck, and then I'm going to delete all that, and delete that, and delete that, and then the other variables, I'm going to get rid of the index, so we have our deck of cards. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop this video. I cannot believe it says this is 21 minutes long. That's blowing my mind. So we're gonna stop this one, part 2. We didn't make it anywhere. We just fixed an issue. So sorry. Hope this wasn't wasting your time. Hope you learned how to fix an array from global variables and bring it into a local variable. But yeah, catch me on part 3. So sorry.